I'm a copyist. I paint things. I paint what I see. I've been painting for about 20 years, seriously. Recently, I've just realized that painting is just a matter of applying something onto a flat surface. Whether or not the subject has depth is for the audience to decide. It's still a flat surface with paint on it in one form or another. So recently, as I've always been a realist painter, and I paint, like I said, things that I see. I'm interested in the idea of pattern and design, and the idea of like why do we always limit ourselves? Why do we have a qualitative assessment of a piece of work because whether or not it has depth, for instance, or whether or not it has richness or color or tone. I've recently become interested in just patterns and designs and the idea of painting something for the sake of painting it, because I like to paint. And am I original? Is this an original composition? God only knows. You know, some artist sat there at his Columbia studio and did a little picture of Brahms smoking a cigar, and then 20, 50 years later I'm copying it. Am I being original? God only knows. Was Vermeer original when he took his camera obscura and brought it into the room? People like to disclaim an artist because they copied. Was Andy Warhol a great artist? He took a bunch of pictures of people and colored them in. So recently I've started to just give up this whole ego trip of like, I'm going to reinvent the world in painting. I have so much experience as a painter that here I go again. Watch my expertise, watch this move I'm about to make. I've given a lot of that idea up and just been painting really diligently, I'd say. This is about 2.5 months' work. When I first had the idea, I get these intuitive, I'd call them inspiration, like a gut feeling that I have about an idea, and I listen to it, and I'm able to hear it, and then I honor that initial idea, and I continue with the process of generating the product, which would be the paintings. This initial idea was to paint all these records that I got at the art sale. An old lady who died here in Newport, and I got all her records. I like the designs of them. I put them up on I like the colors. I saw it as an abstraction. And I would never make abstract paintings because I'm a realist painter, but I like the idea of being abstract with my subject. I had the idea, oh no, and all the voices start speaking to me, that's dumb. Why do you do that? How are you ever going to paint all the letters? I know, how am I going to do all the lettering? The lettering was the hardest part of this painting. I mean, this is small lettering here. That I failed on that part right there, but I didn't, there was even finer lettering, but just the idea of completing something like this is daunting. And I just got into it, and I just worked on it for a while, and this is what I ended up with. And I'm again, interested in what is art, what is painting. You know, we all have these rigid, or not all of us, I don't want to generalize too much, but a lot of people have rigid parameters within which they operate, and I'm learning to let go of those parameters and do what inspires me. Does this picture have any depth? I don't know. It has a depth from the front of the tack to the back of the tack.
What are the letters? Oil paint?
Everything's oil paint. Well, I traced all the lettering's traced. I didn't do it freehand. I traced all the lettering, I lay it out on the canvas, and then I paint it. It's a labor of love. I enjoy doing it. And since then I've done some others. I'm interested in photorealism. This is something that if you talked to me 10 years ago, I would have said photorealism is terrible art. But now I'm learning to appreciate all types of art. I love photorealism now. You know, it has to do with the maker's spirit. How do we transfer our spirit into the work? You know, it's a matter of originality is not the concept. I mean, we put love into something, we generate love, we put that out into the world. So whether or not we're dealing with new material, you know, you can take the English language and use the same words and generate a new dynamic, a new message of love. You know, it's a continuum of this great thing that we have the power to generate ideas and to share with people. And that's what I've been doing as a painter for years, is sharing my love for what I see and what I do. And I'm really self-centered in a way where I just sit in my studio and I make my work, and I'm a fine artist, excuse me. Well, I finish my artwork, talk to you in a minute, that kind of stuff, okay? But this is what it is for me. I continue to do it. I have another one I've just done. It's a big, a record cover this big of a Hawaiian lady. She's gorgeous. I'm in love with her. I don't know. It's important work for me. And that's all I can say right now. This is what I've been doing.